Hello, welcome back to the Bar Gym Reviews. Today, should you buy an all-in-one rack-mounted functional trainer like the Rogue Rhino functional trainer, or maybe the Rep Aries functional trainer, or should you go with something more like this, which is a dedicated standalone machine, the Rep Arcadia? So, I've used the Rep Arcadia for over a year now, about 13 to 14 months. So in this video, I'm going to break down how it's held up over that year, how it compares to maybe its max version, if there's any pros or cons, and honestly, should you go the dedicated functional trainer or a rack mounted one? So please let me know in the comments once I go through the video. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, so first, let's talk about what I love about the Rep Arcadia after over a year's use. So, commercial feel. Honestly, for a little over $2,000, that can be a little bit high for some people, but honestly, the realm of gym equipment, that's could be a drop in the bucket as well. It's not a budget unit by any means, right? Aluminum pulleys, laser cut uprights with numbers. It's got a smooth powder coat, and honestly, it looks even better. I have a personal touch up here. I've also customized the Rep logo using vinyl stickers. That way, it matches my color scheme, my blue color scheme, and matches my Rep RM6. So it's a little bit of detail that you could do for really cheap. I think I bought the vinyl tube. I want to say it was like $5 or $6 at Walmart, and it's really easy to do yourself. So next, the functionality of the weight. Sometimes when you find functional trainers, like the ones that you might find at Costco, they might have some weight increments that aren't heavy enough, but also maybe they start at 20 pounds, which isn't great for like the lighter movements, or for my wife who might need to have a lighter starting weight. So with this, you get dual 170-pound selectorized stacks, 2-to-1 ratio on those, making them an 85 effective resistance per side. I obviously had to go all in, and I upgraded to make them 110 pounds, so 220 altogether, but 110 feel. And honestly, it's more than enough for most people. Another thing that I really do enjoy is it has 32 different height positions. And again, it makes it really easy with the laser engraved numbers. And honestly, the cables feel really premium, and the sleeves feel really premium here. And after a year's use, you can barely even tell, right? And we're using this 5 times a week, right? It is relatively compact. It is only 80.9 inches tall, and you can actually make it shorter to about 78 inches tall if you invert the bar here. It is 55 inches wide at its widest point, and then if you go towards the back, it's about 24 inches. So overall, it's really nice to put in a corner like I have in my gym, and it doesn't take up a ton of space, but there's so much functionality that's there. Some kind of built-in extras that some of us here at the home gym really do enjoy, especially in this community. Obviously, when we're talking about there's a little bit of knurling here. Gotta love knurling. Anytime you can put knurling on something, we kind of go crazy for it, right? It does have band pegs as well, so you can add accommodating resistance and even add a little bit more resistance if that 110 pounds is too much or not enough, I should say. And then, of course, there is some pegboard storage here as well. And then another thing that I just don't see on functional trainers a ton, especially in the budget area, is the 5 pound, which actually comes out to 2.5 pound, that little micro adder weights, right? So that's something you're only seeing on commercial units. And I just really think that's a nice touch for a home gym piece. All right, so nothing's perfect. So there's always things that can be better. So for some of us, especially the taller individuals, 80 inches tall, it's going to make you feel pretty cramped, especially if you're doing pull-ups, especially if you even have to invert that and make it 78 inches tall. So that's not ideal, but it does work for great. It does work great for low ceilings. Storage, love the band pegs. They're super helpful. However, some of the attachments that they sell, you really can't store them on there anyways. Like the curl bar, it's just too long, right? But it is a great feature to have. It's just a little bit smaller than maybe some might like. The weight stacks, they're great. The stickers, make sure you get them on there right the first time. Luckily, we did. If they're crooked though, they're going to be crooked. So the weight stacks come in. You got to do the stickers yourself. Just make sure that you pay attention to the details and make sure you put them on either side. Make sure you put them on the right side of the hole or wherever you're going to put them. Make sure they're the same, right? Overall, though, for most home gym users, these are all nitpicks, right? They're really not deal breakers at the end of the day. All right, so next let's talk about the hot topic in home gyms, which is the all-in-ones, the rack-mounted options like the Rogue Rhino Functional Trainer and maybe the Rep Aries 2.0, and there's many other iterations of that. And there's too many even just by Rogue themselves to even count, right? So these are cable or pulley systems that are directly on the power rack. Now, they can combine pulleys, lat pull down, belt squat all in one. I have a Rogue Rhino, but not the functional trainer option. Now, it was not offered at the time, so I want to talk about, kind of the pros and cons that I've seen online and some things that maybe you should think about. So, pros, obviously, when it comes to a rack-mounted functional trainer, they're more compact, they save you space, right? It's space that you already have, so it's a little bit easier to integrate that in, and then, you can, in one area, you could squat, you can bench, you can do all of your cable exercises, right? Now, there's some things that I do worry about. Number one, I've heard it a few times in the community that they're just not as smooth as a commercial grade unit. Specifically, I've heard this about a few functional trainers not named Rogue and Rep per se. So in the comments, let me know, what is the quality like of the Rep Aries 2.0 and also maybe the Rogue Rhino Functional Trainer, right? So I've also heard or seen there's a little bit less range of motion, especially on the ground or to the ground, because that cross member on the bottom limits how far that can go down, right? So there's fewer pulley positions, and I'm really worried. I've thought about, like, if I get a Rogue Rhino Functional Trainer, that's going to limit the amount of attachments and the amount of things that I could do because of that being on there. It's kind of like jammer arms. I would love to have jammer arms. I've looked into it, but also I'm not really sure because I feel like it just takes up the front of the rack, especially if you have a 4-post rack. Now I have a 6-post rack, so maybe that works a little bit better. But let me know in the comments if you have a Rogue Rhino Functional Trainer or the Rep Aries 2.0 or any rack attached functional trainer. Do those things get in the way? Is that too much, right? So please drop a comment and let me know. Now, with that being said, if you have a dedicated functional trainer, like I do here with the Rep Arcadia, smooth cable, you're not switching between things. You're not going to get things out of the way. It is there. It is the dedicated. There's no interference with anything that goes on in your rack, right? And for many of us, we already have too many rack attachments. I know my wife thinks so. So why add something else to it that can get in the way? So if cable work is a big part of your training, a dedicated machine, I think, really is the answer for you. But please let me know in the comments. Would you rather get a dedicated unit or maybe a combined unit like the Rogue Rhino or the Rep Aries 2.0? All right, so there are many other functional trainers out there. However, I kind of just want to limit this down to Rep for now. For me, I really enjoy the Rep Arcadia. And I do want to let you know there is actually a Rep Arcadia Max as well, which is taller. It's a little bit bigger. So it has more cable travel, about a foot more actually. And it has more cable positions. It has more max weight. I believe the weight does go up to like 500 plus pounds. The footprint is a little bit bigger, like I said, though, than the Rep Arcadia. Could be a drawback for some of us. And the storage is a little bit wider. So I can imagine just looking at it and looking at some specs, there's going to be more cable attachments that you can store horizontally that you can't do on the Rep Arcadia, right? So my take on Rep Arcadia versus Rep Arcadia Max is if you're taller, you need more range, or if honestly you need more weight, especially if you're like, I'm not going to get a lat pull down. Maybe you can sit on the floor and do lat pull downs. I know I did that for a long time with my Rep Arcadia. That could be an option for you, right? So for those people, I'd probably go with the Max. But if you're limited on space, maybe the budget's a little bit less, then the Rep Arcadia delivers, I believe, insane value. And I think it's just, I don't see a commercial unit that does it really astronomically better than what the Rep Arcadia does already. I got to imagine that the Max version is the same as far as quality. And honestly, it's just probably bigger and badder, right? So, if it's bigger, it's better, right? So, ultimately, for me, I think it's a real choice between the Rep Arcadia or Rep Arcadia Max, dedicated functional trainer versus the all-in-one unit. So let me know which you would pick. All right. So at the end of the day, coming from a rogue fanboy here, I do have some Rep products already. I do have the Rep Arcadia. I have the cable attachments, and I also have the Rep Safety Squat Bar. The question is, would I buy this again? Yes, absolutely, without question. I think it's compact, reliable, smooth. After a year plus years worth of use, 4 or 5 days a week, you can hardly tell that I've used it. Now, there is um, there is the want in a way to get the max version as well, just because it would definitely fit down here, and bigger is better, obviously. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. So if you're thinking about grabbing this or any other Rep product, I do have an affiliate link that I'll put in there. Rep has been so kind to give me an affiliate link for some of their products. So visit their store. It's free to you. It supports the channel. And honestly, it's just a great product. I do love Rep. However, just know that the affiliate link doesn't really influence what we say here. There's still some things that I would do better, like the pegboard, maybe a little bit bigger. I do think that another thing that if I'm gonna let the Rogue fanboy come out in me, Rogue, theirs is just way overbuilt. So for some of us, this might be just a better option, just because the trolley arms are a little bit easier or lighter to maybe move, but they're not on rollers, right? So it's not crazy premium, but honestly, it does feel commercial use ready. Now, the only person that uses this in a year is myself, my wife, and occasionally some friends that come and train with me. So, I don't know how it would hold up in a commercial setting, but the feel, because of the aluminum pulleys especially, makes it premium, and I would absolutely buy it again. All right, so at the end of the day, it's up to you, right? If you want a dedicated functional trainer, or if you want an all-in-one system, maybe like the Aries or the Rhino trainer, or any other trainer that's attached. But let me know in the comments, right? Debate it. Which one do you prefer? Which one's better? And honestly, Rep versus Rogue, which one is better for the all-in-one series as well? So please let me know in the comments. And again, if you like what we're doing here at the Bar Gym Reviews, give us a like, comment. It helps the algorithm. And then if you want more reviews that have no BS in them, and I'm just going to tell it like it is, the good, the bad, the ugly, then please subscribe. So if you like what we're doing here, do all those things, and I'll catch you next time.